Good morning, mi gente, and welcome to the FayWhat Show. Today, I'm going to introduce you to Lake Worth Beach City Commissioner and LGBTQ plus advocate, Sarah Malega. She's also a really great friend of mine, by the way. Since 2012, Sarah has been living with her wife, Dawn, in Lake Worth Beach. She's with us to talk about the legislation and how she is fighting in favor of the LGBTQ plus community daily. She wants to make sure that the youth have a safe space to express themselves and that our elderly have a safe space to retire in. I don't think that's a lot to ask for. Sarah will talk more about her struggle against anti-LGBTQ plus laws and how she's working towards establishing a human rights equality index rating for the city of Lake Worth Beach. So Lake Worth Beach City Commissioner and LGBTQ plus advocate, Sarah Malega.
Good morning, good morning.
Should I say Sarah Parr?
No, that's my maiden name.
Oh, is it really your
Yes.
maiden name? We're really gonna get into dirt right out the bat.
Yes, I took my wife's name.
And you kept it.
I kept it, yeah. And Parr is so much easier to pronounce because everybody messes up my last name. And I told her, I said I could have just kept Parr and it would have been easy, but I really wanted to be solid and be a Malega. Yeah.
I love that. So Malega.
Yeah, Malega.
Because you know, when I went to Spain and I was at Malaga, I always thought of you,
Yeah.
right? I was like, this is Sarah's last name. It's not written the same,
It's
but
not- it's
for
fine.
me it was.
It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. I pretty much answered anything anyway.
Yo, B!
Yes,
Hey,
that's
what's up?
it.
What do you need,
Yes.
Faye?
B, Bink, Raw.
Boo, all of that.
I got all those nicknames, yeah.
What does your boo call you?
Wifey, honey, and little girl.
Little girl. She's shorter than you.
It's because she's older than me. It goes back to our days of dating when we were 18. She's always called me little girl.
I love that.
Yeah.
So forever, you're going to be like 80. She's going to be like, little girl, come here for some candy.
Well, girl, when I'm 80, she'll be 93.
And hot.
Yeah, and
Because
hot.
you have to see her wife. She's super hot.
Yeah, she just turned the big 6-0 and nobody can believe it.
I can't believe it.
She's freaking
There's
phenomenal.
no way. Yeah.
And she runs circles around me.
Oh my God.
amazing. She's
No,
amazing.
like, wow.
Next
wow.
time she'll have to be it.
Yes,
we'll have
can
a threesome.
we have her next time?
We'll have a threesome.
I would love that. We could
Yeah,
be
so-
like the beginning of a trouble.
Yes.
Wait, thruple.
Thruple. No, thruple.
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 Thruple for three.
Yes.
That's just a lot of things going on with
A lot
three
of new
people.
words.
You know what I
A lot of new
mean?
words we have to learn.
I know,
New
but we're
meanings.
so happy about that.
Yes.
You know, like we're
Evolution.
always at the cusp of that evolution when it comes to LGBTQ plus. We were talking beforehand about pronouns and just how important those things are and how some people just want to take it and be like, I don't want to learn anymore. Why do you have to have your own pronoun? It's just ridiculous things that some people say, you know, and we're
Absolutely.
just willing to evolve no matter what, you know?
Well, we have to include everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And if that means us being uncomfortable and learning something, well, then that's what we have to do.
And that's what we have to do.
Yeah.
Hi, Miss Sarah. So much to talk about. This has been such a freaking heavy week. Like you were with us, I think at the beginning of the year. It's been a while.
Pre-legislation.
And pre crazy,
Yeah.
this drag ban signed and all that nonsense.
So I was actually in Tallahassee when that happened.
Tell us about that.
So it was the weekend of Easter, and Senate had all gone home, and it was a Wednesday. By 2:30, senators were all gone. So it was just the House reps that were there. I go to bed. I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to all these text messages from representatives and going, oh my God, can you believe this? At 5:43 p.m., they put an amendment in to include municipalities in the ban for drag queens. Then they stamped it again at 6:13. So I'm like, okay, it's Wednesday. They're going to plan to pass this on Monday when they come back and kind of pass it under the radar. So we worked tirelessly and we notified everybody we possibly could. And we figured out a way to protect our city. So I won't give it all away, but we're good in Lake Worth Beach for the next 3 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh God, but what a sad day that was either way. Like and like my phone was blowing up also that day. And it's like, you know, our drag sisters, this is entertainment.
Yep.
You know, this is them sharing their talent with us, you know, like lewd and sexually driven content is not part of every drag entertainer's presentation.
It's not, right? And we know that there are ones that are that, but you go to the places to see that when you want to see that, right? This isn't a drag brunch. This isn't a drag story time, right? This is not what we're talking about. But yet, again, if you follow the money, Hooters, Twin Peaks, it's okay to take a 5 or 6-year-old there.
Yeah.
And it's complete sexualization.
Complete sexualization.
But it's also you doing what always has been done, exploiting women.
Yeah, no, that's
so
okay.
exploitation of women that creates money and keeps corporations in business is okay, but not a drag queen educating and entertaining when they spend thousands of dollars on their costumes, thousands of countless hours entertaining, doing their routines, perfecting their routines, and now we take that performers away, and it's just theatrics, right? It's just it's theater brought to life. So it's sad because it's such a reach, especially when you take it away. they're trying to take all home rule away from municipalities. They want to control everything that happens in each city. Well, that's why we have home rule, because what's right for us in Lake Worth Beach is different than what's right in Oakland Park.
Yeah.
Or Miami Beach or Tallahassee. You have to do what's right for your constituents in your community. That's why home rule is so important. People in Tallahassee don't know what the people in Wilton Manors need or what people in Pembroke Pines need because they're not there.
Yeah.
So they just want more control. So by putting this rule into effect, they were essentially trying to take control from the municipalities. And it's sad because now you have to find a way over, around, and through to make the party happen, right?
Yeah. I mean, if we knew loopholes, right? Then we need all the rules we can get. I saw you a couple months back when it was Pride of the Palm Beaches.
Yes.
Right?
Great event. Yep.
Is that how it's called, or is it Palm Beach?
Nope, it's Pride of the Palm Beaches.
Pride of
It
the Palm
happens in
Beaches.
March. Put on by Compass, and
I love Compass. I love Julie. I love Michael. Hi. I love all of you guys and everything that you do. And
Stonewall Ball's coming up.
Stonewall Ball.
June 24th.
Oh my God,
Mark your calendars,
Stonewall
get your
Ball.
tickets.
Get your tickets. It's so much fun. You definitely have to go check that out. So when I went up to that Pride, you had fenced, everything was fenced in and everything was covered.
Yep.
So
And
you
protected.
couldn't see in.
Yep. We are really big on protection. So Palm Beach County Sheriff's does a great job with protection and security. We have gated entrances, and it's done at Bryant Park, so it's not an open party, if you would say. All kids of all ages are welcome. It's a family. We really gear it towards family. That's why it shuts down at 6 p.m. It's not geared towards the nighttime party. We want it to be family friendly, and we want it to be inclusive of everybody. So we try to make the hours to where it's not dictated as it's going to be a bad thing, right? Especially with Palm Beach County Sheriffs. We hire them, they get paid to be there and protect us. And it was a great party. It was a great weekend. I'm glad that we do it in March because it is way too hot in June.
Oh my God.
All y'all
yes.
that party in March, I'm like, we're smart, but when you guys hit the streets in June, I'm like, it is 10,000 degrees outside.
Sarah, Miami Beach Pride, right? I was dying. Like literally, I had heat stroke at the end of the whole thing. It was so freaking hot.
Because, you guys are out there all day long.
And we're marching and we're screaming and we're yelling and it's 104 degrees out there.
Yes, and so we do it in March. That's why we do
No,
Pride
you're
in March.
smart.
Yeah,
You're smart.
Compass is actually 35 years old this year.
Oh my God.
So
Just
celebrating,
like me.
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, you guys are twins. Celebrating 35 years of Pride. And one thing about Compass that is amazing is that they really focus on the youth. And they have a Proud Parent program, and they sponsor the youth. We have a Pride Parade. We also have a prom for them. So that's
love
important.
that.
So the kids all get to be kids, but in a safe space.
I love that.
You know?
Especially prom. Like we're constantly doing stories of like youth that maybe don't want to wear a dress to prom
Or
and
can't
then
take a
they're not
same-sex
allowed
partner.
or they can't take their their girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever because of their rules or whatever it is, and so every time I see someone have like a queer prom or an LGBTQ plus prom, it always warms my heart because as a kid that was never even an option for us.
Not an option, no. So we donated our wedding dresses to
Shut
Compass.
up!
Yeah, so 2 years ago, we were like, what are we going to do with our wedding dresses? We're never going to wear them again. So we donated our wedding dresses and a couple other dresses because that's where the kids get their dresses mostly is through Compass. So it was nice to see them,
Oh my God, I love that.
upcycled and reused
I love
and used.
that.
Yeah, so
Oh
if
my
you have
God.
any dresses or men have any good gear, Compass is always looking for good donations.
Oh, Julie, I'm gonna call you. Okay, you know how many dresses I have that I can hook some girls up,
yeah.
anybody up? I mean, that'd be amazing.
Absolutely. And we have the senior program. So we have Coffee Clutch up at Compass and Pride Tribe. Have you heard about that? So Pride Tribe is with Alan Hendricks, and he just opened his first 55 and over LGBTQ community living center for seniors in Boynton.
Incredible. And it's also housing?
It's all housing. So it's your food, your housing, your utilities. So it's a senior living complex for LGBTQ plus only.
In
55 and over in
Incredible.
Boynton Beach. Yeah.
I'm getting in there.
Yeah. So that's the kind of stuff we need for our seniors.
Yeah, no, completely. I feel like, we have all these crazy legislation thrown at us, all these anti-drag bills, all these anti-trans bills, all these anti-LGBTQ plus bills. I honestly keep praying for our children, like every single night, because
you
I
can
feel
do.
that they're going to be the hardest hit. Am I being overly dramatic?
I don't think you are at all, because think about the stresses that kids have. They have social media. They have a horrible school system if they're in public schools right now. They have to worry about gun violence. And now they're being attacked for who they are, and they can't be in a safe space. And for parents not to be able to have that conversation and let their kids go home and say, okay, draw your family tree for school. Well, if your family tree is 2 women, you can't present it. There's something, you're telling your kids that their living situation's bad. And That's not good. These kids are going to come depressed. I believe we're going to have child suicide rates are going to go higher. And it's all going to be on the hands of the electeds who have made these rules.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the Trevor Project does big things, and every year they let us know about, their survey about how
Kids are feeling.
how kids are feeling. And, I mean, those numbers keep on skyrocketing. They just keep skyrocketing, and they're scary numbers. Where more than half have, thought about ending their lives. Can you imagine that? Like, just a kid that you love.
Well, and what's sad about it is so they do this abortion bill, right? So you only care about the child until the child's born, because if the child comes out LGBTQ, you don't want to take care of the child.
You don't care.
You don't want to provide services. So they only care about what's the political moment. This is what it's going to be talked about. Let's save lives now, but not worry about them when they're 5, 6, and 7 years old and questioning their gender. So it's not pro-life. Pro-life is giving somebody the opportunity to live their authentic self, right? Like, live their authentic self. You can't be pro-abortion and then anti-LGBTQ. It just doesn't marry.
Yeah.
If you're really pro-life, you're pro-life across the board. Not when it's convenient.
Not when it's convenient.
And this new abortion bill is awful.
8 weeks. 8 weeks, Sarah. 6 weeks. Excuse me, 6 weeks.
You don't even have your first sonogram.
I have, I have shared with my viewers shows past that I'm not shameful for it, right? I myself had 2 abortions, right? And I didn't want to be with the person that I made this baby with for the rest of my life,
right.
And that was my right. Okay, economically, socially, physically, all kinds of ways, I did not want to have this child, right? And that was my right.
Yep. But you had the right.
But I had the right, and I didn't know till after 2 months, Sarah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, like,
so think about that.
I did not know, and it wasn't that I was just woohoo partying my life away. I just, you have an irregular period. You don't know exactly how, 1 month you might be extra stressed, right? And you just don't get that.
Exactly. But now women don't have that. So now think about that. You would possibly have been in a situation where you don't have a choice. So now I feel, as a foster parent, we're going to have more kids enter into the foster program just because they're born into situations that aren't going to be good for them.
Yeah.
You have mothers who aren't prepared to be a mom, don't have the finances, don't have the education, and now they are forced to bring a child into this world.
Yeah.
So, I literally said, if you're going to pass this bill, you need to pump millions more dollars into the child welfare system, because we're going to have more foster kids. We're going to have a higher need for foster parents and a higher need for workers. And they didn't do it. They didn't offset their budget. So there's always, with every action, there's a counter reaction in everything that we do.
Everything.
Politically, morally, ethically, there's always a reaction to it. And this abortion bill, and unfortunately, DeSantis is he's a bully. And there were some Republicans who voted against it. And those Republicans lost their appropriations. So if one governor can basically bully people to do what they want to do, or you don't get the money to take care of your community and your constituents. It's sad.
It really is
sad
sad.
world we live in.
It's really sad. We've got, there's so much to fight for right now, right? There's just because, we're all targeted, right?
If you're not a straight white Catholic man.
Seriously, Black women, LGBTQ plus, Asians. I mean, it's across the board.
Jewish. Anti-Semitism is higher than it's been in years. And it's just, it's sad because we're supposed to be like the greatest nation, right? And I was saying this earlier, that if you look back, slavery, that's not a great nation.
No.
If you look back to the Indians and taking away their property, that's not a great nation.
No.
So this theory that, we are the greatest nation in the world, we're the greatest nation when it comes to opportunity for success, opportunity for wealth, but not opportunity across the board. The opportunity only comes to the selected. And if you're not in that selected, every day's a struggle and every day's a fight. And that's really where we have to change the narrative, is we need to give more people the opportunity, break the generational wealth gaps, educate people, and let people have a word, have a voice. And that's what LGBTQIA plus is all about.
Yep.
Is making sure that everyone has a voice.
Especially this month, it's Pride Month.
Yes.
Happy
But
Pride,
every day should be Pride Day.
Right. But we have to know. But we're at this point now that every day has to be Pride Day. You're absolutely right, But it hurts more during our month.
Yep.
And for DeSantis that doesn't like us or doesn't want us to breathe, he sure knows all our dates.
But you know what's sad about him?
Everything.
That's the 100% answer. There was another bill that they wanted to pass that said municipalities, any government building could not fly any flag that wasn't the United States flag, the state of Florida, or a military flag. So meaning Haitian American Month. We couldn't fly a Haitian flag to represent our Haitian community. Jamaican Month. You could not fly anything to recognize your community. Like, that is such a far reach. Like, why do you care what flag is flying in front of a building if it represents the taxpayers and the community members of that community, right? I am so proud to see so many gay pride flags flying right now. Like, to me, that was a win. That bill didn't get passed. That's a win. And we have to look at those wins and really celebrate them. I'm going to fly my pride flag all year round.
That's a good idea.
I'm not taking mine down. When I put it up, I was like, you know what? This is going to fly for the rest of the year because I can. That's part of being in America is the freedom.
Yeah.
So fly your flags.
Fly your flag.
Fly them.
You know what's
High and
crazy?
pride.
That I still have PTSD from like the Trump times, Like I used to 9/11 happened, right?
Oh.
And we would all wear our American flags proudly because it was like, we went through this. We went through this. You don't understand how this country came together after 9/11, et cetera, right?
Yep.
And
it
then
didn't matter what color you were,
it
what
didn't
creed.
matter. Everybody wore an American flag. It was cool to wear an American flag.
And we were nice to each other.
And we were nice
kind.
to each other.
You'd hold the door open for somebody. There was just a level of respect for each other. But
then you
went
fast
away
forward
like
to
that.
Trump, and Trump kind of opened the door for fascism, for racism, for homophobia, for transphobia, for everything. And all of a sudden, that flag flown by those big trucks, like screaming all this awful stuff.
The boats, the jet skis.
The boats, the jet skis.
Off of I-95.
I have PTSD. Like, if I see a white truck now, I'm like looking for the flag. Like, the flag that used to represent me now gives me anxiety.
Yep. And but that's what they want.
And that's what they want.
And they're still doing it. There's still people over 95 holding signs, Trump won. I'm like, do you not have something else better to do? He didn't win. Fast forward, he didn't win. But we have a big election coming up. And this is register to vote, register to vote, register to vote. In the state of Florida, if you do not renew your mail-in ballot, you will not automatically receive it. So please make sure if you guys do mail-in ballots, you renew them.
Okay.
Vote,
And that
vote,
was something,
vote.
and that was something that DeSantis stopped also, correct?
Oh,
right?
He didn't stop it. He narrowed the window. You can no longer, I can't pick up your ballot and drop it off. You can't do that any longer. The boxes are all guarded, meaning there is literally somebody standing outside of the drop boxes that works for the elected office, and they look at the signature and then they watch you put it in the box. So it's micromanaged.
But extreme, like I have a friend that her signature didn't match, right? Just because like she had gotten her license years ago, right? And it just looked a little different, so they wouldn't take her vote. Like, oh my God.
Yep. So they're going to try everything and anything.
Everything.
They're still trying to turn over an election from years ago. So the bottom line is that we just have to be vigilant. And like I said, be proud every day.
Yeah.
And it's all about that education, Be proud every day. When I'm with my wife, I say, this is my wife.
Yes.
Own it, be proud.
At whatever table that you're at, if you're sitting with straight people, if you're sitting with people that like you as a friend, right? Well, tell them your story. Tell them what we're going through. The reality is that most stations are not covering any LGBTQ plus news. Every time I tell a straight person or a delusional LGBTQ plus person, because there's many of you out there also, right? They're like, what? That's really happening? I didn't see that on the news. You're not going to see that on Channel 7, bro. Okay? You're not.
Change the channel.
Change the channel.
Change the channel and listen to the real
watch
story.
us. You have to see the real stuff, and I know, and I love that you're always a huge component of vote, vote, vote. But Sarah, that time, that has to be the minimal that somebody can do at this point, Sarah.
Those are the numbers, right? Like, you have to vote. And it doesn't matter if you're happy with the person that ends up on the ticket, you have to vote. The best thing you can do with those people who don't know, or those who are not educated, if you're sitting at a table who's somebody who's dead and they're registered Republican, but they love you, the best thing you can do is teach them not to vote. Don't vote against me. If you love me, don't vote for somebody who's going to harm me. Just don't vote, because that's a win for us too, right? You're educating somebody and you're taking a vote away. And I've actually been successful with that with poor people. And I just said, you love me. Yes. You know that these rules are going to hurt me. And they just didn't vote, which was a win for us.
That is a win.
So
I'm going to use that.
It's not just vote for, don't vote against me if you love me.
I was blessed enough to become friends with you and your wife, and being a sacred server of the community is something that you have taught me. That is like you breathing. you know?
Yep.
So a lot of times when people ask me what I can do, I usually say, hey, run for office, try to run for something. Like, we need more representation out there. And people are usually like dumbfounded, like, run for office. Oh, I could never. It's not an impossible feat to run for office. What does it entail, Sarah?
It takes a lot of hard work. I'm not going to lie.
I bet.
To do it right, it takes a lot of hard work. But you can't be afraid. I ran against a straight white Republican male who had been in office for 12 years. And he was a bully. He was also the head of the Republican Party of Palm Beach County at the time.
Oh.
So, you know,
And
get a
Palm Beach County, take that in.
Yeah.
Palm Beach County, as in Mar-a-Lago, as in Trump world.
Exactly. Like, our city's literally right across the bridge from Palm Beach. And the first time I lost in 18, and I didn't go away. I stayed involved. I stayed involved with the community. I sat on boards. Stonewall Ball Host Committee with Compass. And
You learned from that first time running.
I did learn. And I licked my wounds because, you put all this work in, you knock on doors, you talk to people, you ask the community, what do you want to see changed? Don't go into a community and tell them what they need. Let the community tell you. And that, I learned a lot in 18, but I didn't go away. And then when I decided to run in 21, it was COVID. We couldn't fundraise the way we used to. Knocking on doors, you had to knock on the door and back up 10 feet with a mask on. It was a lot different, but people were ready for change. People were locked in their homes. They wanted something different. They wanted a kinder atmosphere. And I won huge. And I ran against the same gentleman. It was just him and I again.
Really?
It was just he and I again. And it spoke volumes that people were happy with the fact that I didn't go away. So if you're not ready to run for office, get on a community board, volunteer for a nonprofit, and just be vocal. Be the voice for somebody who doesn't have a voice. That's important. I go on a Haitian radio station. I don't speak Creole, but I do it because it's part of my constituency. And I want my community to know that I care. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to be able to communicate. Yeah. So I have a translator, and it's fun. We spend a Saturday afternoon in the radio station. But it's really just, if you don't want to run for office and you're not there yet, just get involved. I mean,
Volunteer
you're everywhere.
somewhere.
You and your wife are everywhere. Like, I don't know where you get the energy. You're like the Energizer Bunny. I'm like, when does she sleep and eat? But you're everywhere. You're doing what you can every minute of the day.
Exactly, because this is what I need to do. I need to shine as bright as possible. I need to show these people that we were not going to be erased. Yep. We won't be silenced. So I'll sleep when I'm dead, and that's fine. And you too.
Yes. You got to keep going.
You got to keep going. We got to keep on shining.
But running for office, it's fun. I'm not going to lie to you. I love being a city commissioner. I love serving my people. There are days where I'm exhausted. We did a major cleanup this Saturday. It was 900 degrees outside, and cleanups are not a lot of fun. But it's part of what we do, right? And like I said, being involved with Compass and just moving the needle wherever you can. And when you walk into a space, if you can leave it brighter and better than when you walked in, then you're winning.
Yeah.
If you're taking that darkness and you're shining a little light on it, like you said, that's how we're going to win.
We have to. And I want right now for those delusional LGBTQ plus people that I was talking about before to understand that I love you and I see you, right? And we are part of each other, but this is not going to go away, right? Like, you pretending to, this is not happening. I'll look over here. Your brothers and sisters, your non-binary folks are all being affected right now just by you staying silent.
But the sad part is that I know a lot. I know some people who you're speaking of. And I get so frustrated because they're voting for their pocketbook. They're voting for their tax bracket. They're voting for something that's not humanitarian. And I'm like, at the end of the day, when you're dead and gone, nobody stands around your funeral talking about the way you folded your towels or what your credit score was or how many zeros you have in the bank.
Yep.
They talk about the impact that you made, the memories that you made with people. I'm like, that's what people care about.
Yeah.
And you try to educate, but a lot of people just care about the almighty dollar.
But that is,
which is sad.
I'm so mad at Target. I'm so mad at Target, and you'll hear about this. You'll hear about this later on What's on My Mind. Sarah, they broke my queer heart. They broke my heart. Like, I sat here with my beautiful pink Live, Laugh, Lesbian shirt, and I was so proud of Target.
You were even on social media promoting. Yes! Oh my God, I went here, but then they moved it to the back of the store.
It was like heartbroken.
Then you saw the onesie story that just happened with the two boys who wanted to buy the onesie, and they wouldn't even sell it to them because it was supposed to be off the rack. So, again, it's corporate dollars.
It's corporate dollars.
You
You
know,
need to
they-
go after that money.
You need to, but it's also, then you look at the beer companies who are standing tall for us right now.
Yeah.
You know, they're taking the hits.
Yes.
And, you know, they're standing up for the LGBTQ plus community.
I was hosting a couple of events over the weekend for Girls in Wonderland, and they were the biggest sponsor. Sarah was Bud Light, right? And I was like, Kid Rock, I got a finger for you. Guess which one it is? Go Bud Light. You
You know
know?
what's so funny? Being from Detroit, I used to be a huge Kid Rock fan. He literally lived one city over from me. We graduated around the same time. My family goes 25 deep. We all go to Detroit. We do the concert. As soon as he started supporting Trump, I was like, I'm out.
I'm done.
Half of my family can't do it. You know, that $25 ticket, eventually part of that would go to the Trump Foundation or the Trump campaign or DeSantis campaign.
No.
And that is where we need to make that moral choice.
Yeah.
You know, spend your dollars on the people who spend and invest in your community. Don't support those who don't.
You heard her. You heard it here first. So Sarah, here at the FayWhat Show, we play a game, and it's called The First Thing That Pops Up. Whoop!
Uh-oh. Good thing I'm not a boy.
This whoop! The first thing that pops up.
It's a
Whoop!
good thing I'm not a boy.
You're not a boy. All right. So I tell you something like I say apple, and you say what?
Pie.
Okay, like that. All right. So
Okay, that's
you
easy.
ready?
That's
okay.
easy.
All right. Okay. Pride,
Heartfelt.
plants,
Green.
dogs,
Love them.
wallpaper,
Boring.
Target,
Ugh.
and just like that, Sex and the City spinoff.
Not a big fan.
DeSantis,
Ugh.
Pamela Anderson,
Hot.
leather,
Sexy.
fur,
Hot.
meat,
Ugh.
Glamour magazine, pregnant trans man on the cover,
Yes.
bondage, voting,
Important.
Spain,
Spain? Love it.
monogamy,
Important.
Hamburger Mary sues DeSantis,
Headlines.
electric cars,
Love them.
oysters,
Gross.
CrossFit,
Infit.
COVID,
Done.
Miami Girls,
Sexy.
Fort Lauderdale,
Epicenter.
Netflix,
Boring.
Romeo and Juliet,
I have no thoughts on that.
Oprah,
Oh, I hate Oprah.
Humidity,
Florida.
Twitter,
Boring.
Tina Turner.
Icon.
Oh,
Icon.
I'm so sad that she's passed away.
She's on the cover of People magazine. Did you see it?
Where she belongs.
Did you see that other one where she was hanging off the side of the Eiffel Tower in Paris?
Oh my God.
I'm like, first of all, how amazing that she did that
Iconic.
shot.
Yes.
In those high heels.
Yes.
I'm like, rock star.
And like she was in her 60s when she
Right.
did that.
I know.
Like
I'm like-
it wasn't even like, you know.
Like she gets the phone call, hey, we're thinking of doing this photo shoot. And she's like, I'm in.
I'm
Like,
in.
you know,
Okay,
like,
your
that's-
stilettos are
that's
like
it.
this big. No problem. I got it.
I mean, she was, and you could see how fit she was. I mean, she was ripped, her lean. I mean, she was, that's sad that she's gone.
Yes, Tina
But, you know,
Turner
she
will
was an
definitely be
icon.
missed.
Yes. But, you said one and it was, I can't remember which one it was, but I don't have any thoughts on Romeo and Juliet. I think that to me, Romeo and Juliet it was what the American dream was supposed to be built on, but it's not. Like, what's wrong with Romeo and Steve or Juliet and Faye? You know, so to me, I don't connect with it.
You know, but when I think of like Romeo and Juliet and I think about Shakespearean times, I think about the fact that all the roles were played by men. So
Yes,
it was
in
just,
wigs
so it
and
was just a
dresses.
bunch of drag queens running around pretending to be Romeo and Juliet.
Absolutely.
No one talks about that, right?
Look at the court system still in England. They still
They still wear those thingies. Yes.
And we don't call them drag queens. We don't call them out for dressing,
No.
you know, putting long hair out.
Not at all. So make sure that you follow Sarah on social media. She's always doing something incredible
Yes.
for our community. Her wife is also incredible. How is the gym doing?
Good. We bought a second one in September. We bought a 20-year-old gym because now it's like having a newborn and having a college student. We have one of each. So
But remind me the name of the gym again?
Zoo Health Club.
Zoo Health Club. Okay, make sure that you look it up. All right. I
Yes.
mean, lesbian owned and operated. You can't get any better, right?
Absolutely.
Sarah.
Palm Beach County's SFGN Gym of the Year for 6 years.
Woohoo! Wow, that's
We're
a huge
we're-
feat.
We're very inclusive, and that's important in everything that we do. Is that everybody's welcome, regardless of your age, your background, what language you speak, and that's important to me. So everybody has a voice.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your second gym. That's
Thank
amazing.
you. Running for office again too.
You have to. What do you mean? Like you don't have a choice?
I don't know. The gray hair tells me I do.
Well, whatever. The color you're using is working just fine because I
you.
don't see one gray hair.
Thank
You know,
you.
how can we help support you with that?
Just again, try to change any environment that you walk into. Like really just have the conversation. Ask somebody, what is your preferred pronoun? Don't just assume what somebody wants to be called, and just educate each other. I mean, every day, what you do, you know, follow
Educate each
Faye.
other.
She's amazing.
Follow Sarah. She's amazing. She's actually there, like doing stuff, okay?
So are you.
Yeah, I'm trying my best.
Girl, you are everywhere.
I'm exhausted.
Take a nap. And time for a nap. Time for a nap.
All right, guys, we'll be right back. Make sure you follow Sarah Malega on social media. She's incredible. She's always working for our community. And make sure that you vote. If you're up there in her county, make sure you vote for her as well.
Yes.
We've got to have people representing us in office. That is the only way that we can get out of this freaking mess that we're in right now.
Absolutely,
Right?
absolutely.
All right. I love you, Sarah.
Love you, babe.
We'll be right back.
So, did you enjoy the show? I know you did. So make sure to click subscribe so you won't miss any of the events, news, or interviews right here on the FayWhat show. Ring the bell at the bottom of the screen, right there, so you'll be alerted every time we're live. You can also click on the Happening Out Television Network logo so you can see all of the shows on the most diverse LGBTQ plus media network. Find out just what we're doing to bring the L and the G together right here on the FayWhat show. Get the week started with me.